You're listening to Tacks with Bruyere. I'll give you a very brief background story of me. I work in the mental health service and I work as a therapeutic dance instructor for children between the ages of 3 and 5 years old, middle schoolers, adults, and seniors in long-term healthcare facilities. I can give a bigger background story later, but today, for this first podcast, which is going to be super clunky because I don't have all the editing tools and I'm learning as I go, I wanted to touch on my first topic. So, the first topic that I feel is very important is to talk about the subject of forgiveness. Throughout my life, I will also tell you in a background briefing, I'm going to be 50 years old in December. So, technically speaking, I'm a Gen Xer who grew up with boomers. And I was told my entire life that I needed to forgive in order to forget. As time went on, my older family members definitely did come back around and say, you don't have to forget, but you need to forgive, because forgiveness is making sure that you don't live in a space where you're angry all the time. And that's on you at that point. You have to forgive people. Otherwise, you are being toxic to yourself. I so strongly disagree with this. So, this podcast is about forgiveness. And here's the thing with forgiveness, it is a personal choice and it is up to you, but it is not mandated. If someone has hurt you intentionally and they have hurt you with intent, this could be as small as a bad comment. This could be as big as someone bullying you throughout school. This could be abuse within your household. And this can go further out into things like molestation or physical abuse, domestic violence, and all of the things that we encounter being humans every single day. Dealing with family members who say very snarky, mean things, being berated, being ridiculed, and being told that we're just not good enough. I'm very firm on the fact that you do not have to forgive these people to be healthy in yourself. In fact, I believe that there's a lot of health involved in not forgiving those people. And here's why I say this. We are not responsible for the things that other people do. We are not responsible for other people's bad qualities. We are not responsible for other people's mental illnesses. We are not responsible for other people's addictions. We are not responsible for anything that has been put on us without us asking for it. It is so very important that we understand that we can still be healthy individuals and move forward without forgiving the people who inflicted pain, agony, hurt, destruction, or any other components of pain and suffering on us. These old adages are outmoded, they're outdated, and they don't make any sense. They're not logical in any capacity. You do not have to forgive anyone who has been a person to you that has caused harm with intent. You are the victim in all of those circumstances. And the most important thing that you have to know is that when someone says, you must forgive these people, or it's going to be something that plagues you for the rest of your life, you'll never get over it. You'll never be okay unless you forgive, is crap. It's crap. Because the thing is that is victim shaming. You are being victim shamed. You have all the tools in you to heal on your own without forgiving the people who intentionally went in and hurt you. And this is something that you need to understand, and you have to get to a place within yourself that you allow yourself to understand that your healing process has nothing to do with your ability to forgive the people who have hurt you, the people who have neglected you, the people who have let you down, the people who have purposely gone in and said mean, callous words to you to tear you down. This is not your problem. It's theirs. And whether or not they'll ever see it is also not your problem. What you have to do in these moments is to understand that you were intentionally hurt by somebody who had intention to hurt you. We will go through these podcasts and discuss what that looks like for people who have suffered through their own hurt, because as we do know, and this I do believe to be true, is that hurt people, but that doesn't make it okay. And the burden is not on you. It is never on you. You do not have to forgive your abusers. Ever. That was on them. That is what they chose to do. You were sitting there and doing nothing but potentially loving them, accepting them, and it came at you in those moments. In this case, when you hear these adages that your family members might be saying to you, oh, please, you have to forgive that person. Otherwise, you're just going to be stuck in a place. No, honey, you're not stuck in a place. You're actually holding your ground, creating boundaries, and completely understanding in this moment that you were the victim and they were the person who caused you harm. And that is totally okay. The other thing, too, that I want to say is I heard it a lot throughout my life that, oh, Bruyere, you need to forgive people, or you're just going to be stuck in your anger. You're going to be stuck in your hurt. You're going to be stuck in your turmoil. In my particular cases, and mine are probably different than yours, I have always said the same thing over and over and over again. I don't need to forgive that person in order to be healthy, to move forward, to be productive, and to figure out exactly who I am. I might need therapy for it, for sure. I might need to do a lot of self-evaluation, but I don't need to forgive that person. Oh, heck no. Why? Because it's not conducive to me being a whole human being. It never has been and never will be. I don't even think that I need to even have any emotions or feelings towards those people at that point, depending on how severe and extreme the circumstances are. In some regards, and we'll go through this with the rest of my podcast, I've had some situations where those people became, quote unquote, like kind of dead to me, where I just stopped even thinking about them at all because I had to. The things that they did were so terrible and honestly awful that I couldn't even really see them as human beings anymore. And this is all a part of a healing process. And so often we hear this commentary of, yes, you must forgive. If you don't forgive, you're going to land in this ugly space your whole life where you're just fighting above everything, and you're always upset and angry, and you're holding on to the bitterness. And that is really just putting the person who has been neglected or hurt or violated in a position of where they're still the victim. And it is untrue. You have all of the power within yourself to decide who you want to forgive and who you never have to forgive. And you most certainly do not have to forgive people who have gone to great lengths to hurt you. And it does not make you less of a person. It does not make you any less healthy than someone else. And most definitely, if I were going to say anything, and this is the brass tacks of Bruyere, you're actually stronger if you let all of that go so far away from you that you don't even acknowledge that they really exist in this world anymore, and that you have moved on to a place where you don't have to think about them in that capacity of whether or not they're even human. Their journey is so much different than yours, and they're going to go through it. And believe me when I say, when they do terrible things to you, there's a level of karma that will come back around. And you can just focus now at this point on yourself, and you can go to a place where you stop at all recognizing that what they did and how they responded to you and the things that they inflicted on you are not your problem. So we're going to go into this topic a lot stronger because this is one I feel really strong about. But you do not have to forgive anybody. And if you have people in your life that is telling you, oh, you must forgive in order to forget, and you must forgive in order to heal, it's crap. It is absolutely untrue. You can still hold them accountable and still heal. And you will honestly heal much faster knowing that you hold them accountable and that you have stepped away from the things that you cannot control or fix, but that you have now moved on and worked towards yourself. And the best thing you can do for yourself in so many regards is to let those people go and not ever forgive them, because that gives them a place where they can get comfortable in the way that they've been their entire life and the things that they do to you and the things that they'll continue to do to other people. So this is Brass Tacks with Bruyere, and I know it's clunky, but we're going to touch on topics like this day in and day out. I have a background in therapy, mental health service, and there are just so many things that need to be discussed that will actually turn around to the place where we stop victim shaming our victims and we start listening to our victims instead of telling them these old, outmoded, old time sayings and adages that just do not make sense anymore. All right. I will talk to you again in about a week, and I will come up with another topic of brass tacks.